Take advantage of end of financial year savings now at Seraphin Ag Pro, with the instant asset write-off ending June 30. Now's the time to secure in-stock products under $20,000 plus GST. Available for immediate invoice. While you're there, stock up during our end of financial year parts sale and save on the parts you need to keep moving this season. End of financial year opportunities like this won't last long. Get in before the June 30 deadline and contact the team at Seraphin Ag Pro today.
When landline hit, I got all these shearers and wool classes and roustabouts ringing me with their stories, but I was laughing so hard. I was just trying to scribble notes, and a lady by the name of Lexi Keane from Queensland rang me and said, I've just seen, I'd love to help. Our motto is repair what you can, replace what you must.
Yeah, okay.
So we want to keep the as much as we can of everything we've got.
What kind of people are coming, or where are they coming from?
Everywhere.
Everywhere.
I'm probably the only territory we've not had a visitor from or a volunteer is the Northern Territory. Every time you look at this place, for every question you think you have an answer for, another 5 questions come up.
Absolutely.
But the yards are built out of red gum, and they're absolutely beautiful, the yards. And that's what we've been doing this working bee, is getting all the dirt off the yards.
Christine, thank you very much for your time today. I really, really appreciate
Nice.
it. We're out here at Toganmain Woolshed. There's a bit of a history out here now, about over 150 years, I believe, which was just celebrated last year. Is that correct?
That's the age of the woolshed. From what we can understand, there was another woolshed on site before they built this one. But I'm assuming, given the age, that the old woolshed wouldn't have been very well built, which is maybe why they've built this one. But there's an entire forest in this one.
So I guess we'll probably start with a little bit of history. You could give us a little
Of
bit
the station?
The station, yeah.
Well, originally it was selected by Alexander Macleay for his son George, and I'm not sure whether they were actually on the expedition with Charles Sturt when he came down the Murrumbidgee, or whether Charles Sturt saw it and selected it for him, but they held it for a number of years before Thomas Robertson Senior bought it, and then they went with the AML brand for quite a few years, and then they changed over the Toganmain brand on the bales. And the Robertson family held it till 1988, and then they sold it on to Don Armstrong, who held it for 6 years. And then it was sold to Twynham, and Twynham held it till 2010, and then Macquarie Bank bought it, and their pastoral arm, Paraway Pastoral, run it.
Right.
Along with a number of other properties around here.
Right. And from what I understand, it sort of really sat still from that point onwards.
Yes.
Because Macquarie, they weren't prepared to really do anything with it unless there was...
Well, even in Don Armstrong's days, Don's son Mick, who visits regularly, said it was starting to really deteriorate then. But it was always seems to be, when you look at the shed, everything was just done to get through the next shearing. So nothing substantial was done to sort of protect it at all. No. And the last shearing here was 2002, so
yes.
After that it just sat idle.
Yes. So then a committee was formed, I believe?
A man by the name of Peter Freeman, who's a heritage architect, saw it in 2004 and was very impressed. And then it must have sat on his mind for a while, because about 2014 he got together a committee of very disparate people and started negotiating with Macquarie to get the precinct subdivided. That went on for a number of years, and I got involved because one of the committee members, Graham Nolder from Moolameen, who has an historic woolshed on his place, he approached me because I am on the Murrumbidgee Council, whether we could get council's in principle support for the subdivision and the preservation. I said, well, of course. So then he rang me back a year later and he said, look, Macquarie aren't going to move on this until we've got local support. So we organised a public meeting in Darlington Point at the club there, had about 60 or 70 people. We formed a committee from that, and that local committee has been driving it ever since. So we kept pushing for the subdivision, finally got it through and got title in 2024. 2023 we were allowed here to start works. Part of the agreement was that we would start works on it. Otherwise, if we didn't start work within 5 years, it would revert back to Macquarie.
Yeah.
So, yeah, we just went hell for leather ever since. The first huge priority was to get tin back on the roof because that was just doing so much damage. The 2022 wet year, there was a lot of roof gone off the shed and it just flooded in on the shearing board and everything just sank. So we spent the first year or two just cleaning up everywhere, getting the tin back on the roof. Took one look at the inside and went, right. Walked out and started over here on the quarters.
Yeah, it was just too hard. It was too overwhelming at the time.
Too overwhelming at the time. Once we hired an 80-foot boom lift to get the tin and the ridge capping and everything back on. That was sort of about the extent we went to with the shed to start with. And we just didn't know what else. We didn't have the skills more, so we're only about a band of about 20. We're all sort of ex-shearers, ex-farmers.
Not builders. And
not builders, not tradesmen, nothing.
Yeah.
And so we just decided we'd concentrate on, getting the toilets going and just making some of the rooms a bit more habitable because we had a lot of, some of them didn't have caravans, they were just bringing their swags. Getting the dining room kitchen set up so we could use it as a meeting place and cooking. And we did that, and then I stupidly got the idea, gosh, it's 150 next year. We really should celebrate that. And we went...
Well, it's a good motivation, isn't it?
It was a good motivation, but look, it probably wouldn't have come off if Landline hadn't come along and done the story, and all of a sudden we had this amazing group of volunteers with trades.
Nice.
And
Excellent.
It was the Tea Tree Gardens men's shed that came up and helped finish off the re-stumping under the board so it was all level. And from there we just went, well, we can do this. And then we got plumbers. Russ is a plumber.
Yep.
We managed to get grants and got water tanks. And got a delightful man in Darlington Point called Chris Sutton who drops us out water. Ring, Chris, we need more water. So he just brings out his truck and he fills all our tanks for us.
Great.
Because water's the biggest issue out here. We've got no water, no access to the river, so everything has to be trucked in. We've got all set up for drainage under here, but at the moment the drainage is going out the back to try and keep it away from the quarters.
Yeah, okay.
But it would be great if we could get to a point to capture that, and eventually when we get the roof sorted, we'll just put in big tanks over there and that roof will capture heaps of water.
Because it's at 140 metres long or something?
240 feet. 80 metres long, and I can't remember the actual dimensions. But
there's a lot of roof.
There's a lot of roof. Yeah. Been up on it.
So you mentioned like repairing the roof. So did you use the original material or?
Look, we were trying to use we were lucky enough, Dave Starr donated his old shearing shed and tin was almost the same, but we went through that pretty quickly and in the end we just said we'll just use whatever we've got we've just got to get it covered. If it has to come off down the track and we can put more appropriate tin on, we will. But it was just a matter of just making sure all the holes were filled.
Excellent. And I believe there's also, it's the property's heritage listed, is that correct?
It is now, yes. Got heritage listing last year in August.
Yeah.
So it's, now heritage listed.
So what does that bring to
money more than anything. Having heritage listing means you're eligible for heritage grants. Because there's not a lot of money out there anymore for any sort of grant. So you're just constantly writing grants for little bits and pieces.
Mm-hmm.
I've currently got in applications for 2 grants. They're only 10,000 each, but it's purely to go to the re-stumping, because unless we can get the floor right, we can't do the rest of it.
Sure.
And we'll just keep applying for grants. I've got a company who's coming to do the first lot of re-stumping under where we've lost the roof to give us a stable floor there.
Yeah.
And we'll just, as we get the money, we'll just get Dylan back and here's another 20,000, Dylan. Keep go as far as you can with it.
Yeah. And those grants, they are coming now because of the heritage listing?
We got a grant last year. The grants are only... Heritage grants are only every 2 years.
Oh, okay.
So we must have quit the current grant this year, but we're already getting together the stuff to go for the grant for the 2027 round. The first grant we got was purely for the windows, and I just happened to have... I'd said to one of our volunteers, who is a bricklayer, give me a quote on what to do these chimneys. So he gave me a quote and I put that in as well.
Mm-hmm.
But as it turned out, we can probably do the windows ourselves. Our motto is repair what you can, replace what you must.
Yeah, okay.
So we want to keep the as much as we can of everything we've got.
Mm-hmm.
We just have to fudge what we have to fudge.
Yes.
So, but now the main hearth is, in the last 6 months particularly, has got large cracks in it and it's crumbling. So we're trying to concentrate on getting that shore it up and make sure it doesn't crumble any further. We may have to take down part of the chimney to rebuild it, to give it some stability.
Mm-hmm.
But we don't want to take it all the way down because there's just too much character there. You'd lose too much of the history.
Sure. Yeah,
so if we can just, behind the front facade, reinforce it all in there and try and just keep it as it is, because that's an incredible piece of history, that room, because and everybody that's ever been through here, nobody's ever seen a hearth that large.
Yes, yeah.
So it's pretty unique.
Yeah. So you talk about people coming through. What kind of people are coming, or where are they coming from?
Everywhere.
Yeah.
Probably the only territory we've not had a visitor from or a volunteer is the Northern Territory. They've come from Western Australia, they've come from South Australia, Tasmania, all over Victoria, New South Wales, Queensland. The gentleman that helped us repair the oven in the other kitchen, he's from Queensland. He repaired the Farina bakery.
Okay.
So
where's the Farina?
Farina is a little place in South Australia. They go there every year for about 3 months. It was all built of stone, and they're just trying to resurrect it. They're not going to rebuild it. They're just resurrecting. But they've resurrected the bakery, and anybody goes over there, they go for hundreds of kilometres to get bread there from the Farina bakery. We have not been there, but I'd love to go. But I'm unfortunately mentally all my time is spent out here.
Yeah. And how does this place get to the attention of everybody?
Look, if it wasn't for Landline, we would have struggled big time, because Landline has such a wide audience. Everything we've been able to achieve is because of that program, because that just got us the trades, donations. We've had lots of donations from people. It was just, I said to Tim Lee, of all the stories I've ever done, that would have to be the one that made the most impact, because we just got so much benefit from it with the tradespeople. Like I said, the Tea Tree men's shed, they were builders, some of them, blacksmiths. We had electricians from the Northern Beaches up near Port Macquarie. We have an older gentleman who comes over from Adelaide when he can. He's 83, so he gets over here when he can, and he just putters around and does all little jobs that he can. We've got a builder from Aubrey Way. The 2 plumbers that we had here this time, they're over Aubrey Way. We've got a bloke who's experienced in heritage building from Stanley. So just they just ring up and say, "Oh, we'd like to come and help." Yeah, please do.
Yeah, excellent. So be nice to talk a little bit about the heritage, the history, the volume.
Well, the shed itself was finished in 1875. It was built for 110 blade shears. I'm not sure if they ever got to the 110 blade shearing, but in 1876 there was 202,292 sheep shorn by 92 blade shearers, which is an Australian record, which will never be beaten ever. But in 1887 they started trialling the Woolsey shearing gear after Dunlop, and they went a couple of years with doing both blade and machine gear, and then they went totally machine gear. And then from there they went to the Moffat and Virtue shearing gear. The plants were powered by a steam engine, which was removed from here when Twynham sold to Macquarie. We do know where it is, and we've spoken to the bloke who has, well, we've written to the bloke who has it.
Who hasn't? Is he willing to part? Reluctantly.
When we restore it, and I don't know what he calls restoring, because this job will never be finished, a bit like the Sydney Harbour Bridge. But from there it went to a Southern Cross motor, and that was diesel driven, and it's been fully restored. And they didn't get electricity here, I think, until 1985. So it would be nice to have the steam engine back, and then you'd have all the iterations from blade shearers right through.
Right through, yeah.
But it's 240 feet long, 80 foot wide. It's built in a sort of a T section. You've got the main shearing board, which apparently is the length of the stall gift. But it is very long.
Yes.
And there's a massive amount of wood in there. I am assuming it was all milled on site. I know the bricks were milled on site. The kiln is sort of further to the west of us. The yards are paved, which would have been an unusual thing, but I'm assuming that was to keep the dust down. Originally, the fleeces were taken down the river and put through the wool scouring plant, which was run by 32 Chinese. I don't know how many years that went, but I would assume that once the Chinese left, then that's when it stopped. In the yards next to us where those cattle yards are, that biggest yard closer to the shed is also paved. So whether they tried to wash the sheep after that, I don't know. Every time you look at this place, for every question you think you have an answer for, another 5 questions come up.
Absolutely.
But the yards are built out of red gum, and they're absolutely beautiful, the yards. And that's what we've been doing this working bee, is getting all the dirt off the yards, off the pavers. We've dug some of them up and filled some holes and repaved them, because we hope to have our biggest fundraising event this year will be cocktails in the yards.
Nice.
And then you go inside for live music and wine and beer and
whatnot.
Soft drinks.
Yeah, whatnot. Just walking around earlier on, we walked past some of the quarters there. There was a bit of a story there.
We've got, we think there's, we've counted about 33 rooms, and the room we're sitting in, we had thought was a second dining room, but we're now wondering if it wasn't a bunk room, because you look at the amount of people that would have been working here, where were they accommodated? So because they shore till lunchtime on a Saturday and went home or and then we're back cheering Monday morning. So I know a local shearer who lived in Darlington Point would ride his push bike out here on a Sunday afternoon and ride it back in on a Saturday afternoon.
Yeah.
Which would have been quite a feat, because it's 40 kilometres to Darlington Point.
Yeah, yes.
And the story goes that his son told me this one, that another shearer was giving Jack a really hard time, so Jack thought, blow it, I'll ring the shed. So he worked his tail off. He did ring the shed, but like I said, he had to go home in his push bike afterwards, and he said to his boys, most of them who were shearers as well, and he said, don't ever do anything that stupid again.
Yeah, there would have been some roughies.
Oh, another he became a wool class in the end, but his name's Peter Carroll. He lives down in Gippsland, and he was a 15-year-old rouseabout here, and this shearer was was a brute of a bloke apparently, and he was very rough with the sheep, and he sort of threw this sheep down the chute, and then it got stuck. So you don't get paid for your sheep unless it's coming out the other end. So he sent Peter down to get it out, and then it was smoko, so he walked away and left Peter down the chute. So he had to crawl out underneath all the sheep still in there, all to get all the way around, and then come all the way around. And he said, and the worst part about it, I miss smoko.
Yeah, miss smoko. Imagine that in this day and age.
But they have, it looks like a wine rack, but it had little trays, and the number of the tray corresponded to your shearing stand. So you put your combs and cutters in your tray, put it in like the wine rack, and on the other side of that was the expert, and he would then sharpen your combs and cutters for you. Back in the day, the contractor owned all the shearing gear, so they would lay it out the morning before shearing, and they apparently used to draw their stand out of it was on a piece of paper in a hat or whatever, and that was your stand for that season. So, and he would have all the spare parts and everything in that expert's room. They didn't really go to having their own gear apparently until the wide comb dispute came in, and that's when the shearers started getting their own hand pieces, because a lot of the older shearers were very anti wide combs, and the younger ones could see the sense in it.
Sense of it, yeah, absolutely. Yeah. And I did notice there was an odd tray in that pigeonhole.
We had one of our volunteers made us some little trays just to show, and then we came back this time, and then there's this very old tray. We think maybe one of the original ones has just appeared out of nowhere, but I don't know who put it there, but I'm very grateful to them. It's just nice to have something original back. We were hoping to crawl in underneath and maybe find one, but it's nice to have at least one of the originals. And the other thing we'd like to have back is each of the rooms had a number on them, and they're like an oval ceramic number.
Okay.
We've got a couple, but it would be nice to have them back and actually put them on the right doors, but that would be, we don't know where one started and
where it ended.
30-something finished.
Yeah.
But the shearers that come back say, oh, this is my room, this is where I stayed. So down the track, we'd like to actually, as we do the quarters up, we'll dedicate a room to a shearer and then have their story in that room. So that's another way of preserving some of the history.
Yeah, excellent. Yeah, hopefully that will eventuate.
Mm.
So I also noticed there was a book with stories and history compiled.
When Landline hit, I got all these shearers and wool classes and rouseabouts ringing me with their stories, but I was laughing so hard. I was just trying to scribble notes, and a lady by the name of Lexi Keane from Queensland rang me and said, oh, I've just seen, I'd love to help. I said, oh, well, what do you do? She said, oh, well, actually, I'm an author. And I went, ripper. I said, here's a list of names and phone numbers. Can you please ring these gentlemen back and get their stories? And then she rang me back about after the 8th interview, and she said, Chris, there's a book in this. I said, go for your life. And so she collated all the stories, did all the research. So the book charts the history of Toganmain from the Macleay family, who had it originally, through to what we're doing as Friends of Toganmain. And then she's got a heap of stories, poems, letters that have come to us over the time, and put it all in a book, which is brilliant. And a lovely gentleman by the name of David Sutherland, who lives in Sydney, he funded it for us.
Oh, okay, excellent.
And then we now just he funded the whole first printing and everything like that, and now we just reorder the book when we need more copies.
How many copies do you think have been?
We've sold about 600. So
when was that published, that book?
Published for the 150th.
Okay, yeah.
So it's available online on our website. So along with our other merchandise gear that we have, because that just keeps it ticking over.
Sure.
We've got shirts and hats, stubby holders, camp mugs, all that sort of thing, and the book.
Yes.
So that keeps ticking over because, I mean, you need things like, well, we buy tea and coffee for our volunteers,
Yes.
Things like just administrative stuff, nails, screws, all sorts of things that we need to keep going.
Generates a little bit of income.
And also it gets it's amazing, especially wearing the polos, the amount of people that come up to you and talk to you
because they see
it and they ask about it. So having the Toganmain name out there on merchandise promotes what we're doing because the idea is for Toganmain to get too big to fail.
Yes.
So the more people we know about who know about it, the more people come on board, donations come to help, whatever. And maybe one day a philanthropist with a lot of money will say,
"We'll come
here
on board
you
and go, here you go, have some fun."
Would make life easy because it's just getting the funds to do this because everything's in thousands of dollars when it comes to something like that.
Yes.
So, well, even just to buy the wood that we need to replace, we're lucky grants in Narandra give us a good discount.
Yes.
But we're also extremely lucky in that a gentleman from Ardleth and Ray Golden has a Lucas mill.
Okay.
So he brings it over and one of our other volunteers brings out trees and mostly cypress pine and we just mill up whatever we need. So this time around he milled up all the timber for Pete to do the windows frames and the door frames.
Excellent.
So
yeah, that's excellent. It's good to hear that kind of support.
We're very lucky.
Yeah.
We've got an amazing group of volunteers and everybody gets along really well. We have a good time. You're not here to hard slog. We do work hard, but we party hard as well.
Work hard, party hard.
Saturday night's always pizza night in a restored oven. So
yeah, nice, excellent. What about for you personally? What does all this mean for you personally?
It's almost like a second home now. It's got the best feel about it. There's just nothing negative about Toganmain, and the shearers will tell you that it's the best shed they ever shore at, and they've all got brilliant memories of it. They're beautiful memories. There's nothing sad or tragic or anything like that. It's just a really happy place, and when we come out here, it just feels like almost like coming home.
Yeah.
And I'm a history nut anyway. I love anything to do with history. And to think that you always hear, people look at something and they'll say, oh, somebody should do something about that or they should really look after that. Well, somebody's got to be the they. So to me, I've always been, well, don't sit back and complain, get in and do.
Get in and do, yeah. Yeah, well, it certainly shows.
And it's just, and to see how far we come, I mean, the first time we came out here, we had to hire portaloos. We all had to bring plenty of water. We had nothing. And now we've got hot showers, we've got toilets that function, we've got water. An oven we can cook in.
You've got a fireplace. In front of that beautiful fireplace.
And we've just got a couple of little grants from the Murrumbidgee Council and Apex, and we're going to put the ceiling back up in the kitchen and the dining room, and that'll make it a lot more comfortable.
Yeah, excellent.
Because we're sharing it with the swallows and they're not good company.
No, never are. They never are. I believe there's you've got some events coming up in the not too distant future.
We try to have open days at least twice a year, and then we're going to try and have a major fundraising event once a year. Our event this year will be in September, and it's cocktails in the yard. So you get, for your ticket, you get 2 free cocktails, canapes, and then you move into the shed, you'll get finger food and live music, and then there'll be beer, wine and soft drink on sale. So the ladies can frock up all they like, but no stilettos.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
But yeah, so the tickets are selling really well already. So they're online. We've got 200 tickets,
yes,
and we've probably got close to 50 already. We've got 38 that have already been booked and paid for, and our volunteers we haven't got ours yet, so we're a bit slow.
Yeah.
But so about 200 we'll cater for. We'll run a bus from Collyambley through to Darlington Point,
yes,
out here and return, because number one, it allows people to enjoy themselves, but the other big thing is it's only one vehicle on the road fighting the kangaroos and the trucks.
Yeah, true. Yeah, true. It's the last thing you need. Yeah, absolutely.
Well, we've been running into a bit of trouble with the caravans and the trucks. 2 weeks ago, we had one of our volunteers was coming back and went to turn in here and got collected by a truck. He's fine, and they're both fine, but damage to but he had his blinker on to come around, and the truck thought that meant go around him.
Oh, okay.
So we're trying with our local council to get some dirt put on the left-hand side of the road so people can pull over and let any traffic pass.
Yeah.
So, because that's now becoming a major thing. Council kindly donate us on event days big signs to say event ahead.
Yes.
But we had another with Jen and Russ coming in this time, another incident where they had to pull sharply off to the left.
Yeah.
And, of course, it's on a big camber. So
it's dangerous.
we really need that.
Yeah.
We need some help there with making it safe to turn in.
Yeah. Well, I'm sure the council will.
They're working on it.
They're working on it, yeah. Excellent. There's a website, isn't there?
The website is toganmain.org, and it's got everything on that. The blog's really interesting because people, even after the book, they're still sending in their stories, so they go up on the blog. So we've got lots of lovely stories. We've got photos about what we've been doing, places to register as a volunteer, places to donate, places to buy the merchandise site, online merchandise stores there, and we've also got our Facebook page as well.
Excellent. Well, thank you very much for your time today. Really appreciate it. It's always great to hear history of places like this, and we sort of really look forward to where it goes.
Thank you.
Cameron from Seraphin AgPro here. We have 4 Fendt 900 series tractors ordered to suit the demanding Griffith and surrounding row crop market. Ordered with self-cleaning air filter and reversible fan for our dusty conditions, as well as 38-inch front row crop tyres and 480/95 R50 rear tyres to get the power to the ground. Ordered with the titanium leather seat for the ultimate in operator comfort, thanks to the massage, ventilated and heated seat. These tractors are pre-price rise and we'll be demoing the 933 Power on singles or a 933 Profi on front and rear duals that it can be demoed on your farm today in your operation using your implement. Feel free to call the team and book your demo today.